Hello everyone, Dragoon here bringing you a Union Arena deck profile video. Today we're going to be looking at Green Sword Art Online, specifically the Yuuki variant of the deck. While I have tried to make Xenon Kirito work, I find that the deck needs a little bit of help, so I'm hoping that Volume 2 will make the deck way more consistent because it does struggle with the risk-reward factor of the deck. But let's focus on a deck that I've had a lot of fun with, Yuuki. Now, Yuuki is a strange deck for the simple fact that the main card of the deck, well, the main character of the deck is Yuuki, but your win con of the deck is actually Asuna. But there's so many different ways of utilizing Yuuki to further your win con, whether it's early game aggression to mid game defense. So we're going to cover it now, and hopefully you enjoy the video. So starting off with 4 Yukis, 4 Asunas, and 4 Kiritos. Kirito's real purpose in here is just to be like an early game draw trigger. Also a 2K body as well. So like I didn't have another zero cost that I wanted to play realistically. Like I could play a Musketeer X for the active trigger, which would have been nice with the bigger bodies that you have in the deck. But I just felt like having more access to draw power and early game defense was more beneficial. Because of this Kirito, I do play a single copy of Photon Sword, which tends to catch people off guard for extra damage. The 4 Yukis, because you need the Yuki namesake to activate a lot of the effects in this deck. And she's a draw trigger, on play, draw 1, trash 1. So that she automatically gives you reasons to throw her in the discard pile, which is funny. And then your get trigger, Asuna, who is your primary raid target and your only raid target in this version of the deck. Going into your 1 cost, it's, guess what? 4 more Asuna. I love that she's an active trigger, 25 base. And of course your raid target, and 3 Yuis. This Yui has a couple of functions, namely on play, you look at the top 3, you grab an ALO card and trash a card from your hand if you grab a card. Perfect way of getting Yui into the discard pile. You can actually just search Yui and trash if you don't need it. And she helps you search for your Asuna raids, which are very important to the deck. My only 2 costs I play are CNAs. Now, there is a 2 cost Yuki that you can play who's a 3,000 base, and when she gets sidelined, you can give 1,000 BP to somebody in the front. I don't like that card. If she had a trigger, I would probably play her, but realistically, I find way more value in CNA. She helps you trigger the 4 cost Yuki to allow you to draw and discard cards, which helps circumvent your win con, right? And also helps you filter through your deck and lets you find important pieces, combo pieces. Sune just being able to be 2 energy and provide that without actually needing to do anything else is fine. Once you get one of her on board, the rest of them are discard fodder. One of your alt win cons. This is a really good Asuna. So if you have at least 4 or more, if you have at least 4 Mother Cesarios or Yukis in trash, she gains 500 BP during your turn. She's a 35 base, which makes her a 4K. And if you have 6 or more, she gets impact. So with the raid Asuna potentially having damage too, and then using her to finish off games is something I do quite often. And a 4,000 base for 4 Yukis in trash is not bad because it's a 3 cost 4K, so she's going to be beating up raids too. The impact definitely helps her value. I do play 2 copies of Silica. Her having step is great, so typically when I do have my 3rd energy, I tend to play her in the front line for the sole purpose of beating out cards. Maybe your opponent might want to pop her with like a special card to prevent you from stepping back, which is what I want. On play, you look at the top 2. You can put up to 2 cards back to the top of your deck, and whatever you don't put, you trash the rest. So she helps you get Yukis in the trash. The reason why I don't play more is because she doesn't have a trigger. And I already played 10 non-triggers as you saw earlier, so you want some kind of defense or utility coming from life. So I had to minimize that as much as possible. Going into the 4 costs, so your 4 special cards, not special, color cards. This Yuki is odd because if you get her early enough, on play, draw 2, trash 1, and then she comes into play active, it's nice, and she has the effect of when she's sidelined, your opponent, you rest a card in your opponent's front line, which is cool. She also can't be blocked by 2Ks or less, so that means if you get her down early, there's no chump blocking for her. The only bad thing is that at the start of your turn, she does send herself to the trash. So it's like, it's a card that you kind of play based on the moment of what's present, right? Like if you're trying to force early damage, great. She does set up some decent plays though with her when sideline effect, because when she does sideline herself, if your Asuna with damage to his live, like it makes her opponent uncomfortable in how they have to block. So she's not a horrible card by any means, but she's definitely something that you have to get used to through playing. And then like as you play, you'll start seeing the moments of when it's time to utilize her aggressively. Maybe you never play her in a game and you just trash her with the other Yukis or with Silica. Ultimately, it's based off of what's going on with your strategy at the time. 4 cost, my favorite Yuuki. So she has Nullify Impact, which is great. Active Trigger, which is great. And then when you have Sune, Asuna on the field, on attack, you draw a card, trash a card, which helps get you to your 6 and 8 numbers for your big effects in this deck. Her being a 4K base is great. Only being a 4 cost is great. She probably could have been a raid, but then she might have been overtuned. But overall, though, this is such a good card that even in like the non-Mother's Rosario version of this deck, like when I was playing it with Xenon, I would play 4 of this. I like absolutely love this card. She's so good. Closing out my character cards is 4 Raid Asunas. She's a beast. If you have 4 Yukis or Mother Rosarios in trash on attack, you draw a card. 6, she gets 1k and damage 2. And then 8, your opponent can't block with 3k or less. So if you like manipulate your turns right and you use stuff like this 4 cost Yuuki, for example, you can essentially destroy your opponent if they're not prepared to block her. One of my buddies yesterday I wound up playing against, and he got me down to 1 life, but could not block her, and I took 5 from him in 1 turn. And yeah, like it's just, she's such an explosive card. So the quicker you can get at least 6 Yuuki or Mother Zarios in trash, the better. Not saying to use your resources stupidly, but understand getting those cards to the trash is super important, and she is a star. Even with just 4 Yukis in trash, like the on attack draw card, great card. Like, I wish this deck had a second raid target, but honestly speaking, she's a great win con. Going into the option cards, the 1 Photon Sword, like I mentioned before, this is kind of a win more-ish card. I did consider playing the second one, but I don't want to force anything in here. I feel like as a 1-up, it's a nice little tech, and if I never use it, I'm not losing sleep over it. And then the standard barbecue 4 final card, it has more utility here than it does in Xenon, I can tell you that much. And then the last card is Mother Rosario. Now, this is a unique special card, kind of like Divergent Fist, but also not really. So like Divergent Fist, you can hit 5k or lower, and you bounce a card back to your hand. Whereas Divergent Fist needs Yuji on the field to kill a card. You just need a combination of 3 Yukis or Mother Rosarios in trash to kill a card. So this is not even character specific for board, it's just what's in your trash, which is pretty good. Overall, even if you just bounce a card back to hit whatever number of Mother Rosario stuff you need in trash, like the card is definitely worth using in a aggressive manner at times. But, obviously play your match the way you need to make sure you win. And if you save it for when you're trying to get Asuna to hit for that 2 damage, I completely understand because I do it all the time. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. I put this video up in time for a rare battle, so if you have the cards, give the deck a try. It's a lot of fun. As usual, I want to thank you guys for watching. Until next time.